Here are the cars you must have from the new update and which ones you can just skip over, so you don't waste 16 million credits on cars that you don't need. I'm gonna be ranking them from X to D, so best is X, worst is D. First up is the Hennessey Venom F5. This car just came out and it is the most expensive car from this entire update. Also, this is the fastest car in the game right now, but I'm gonna be honest and say I don't think it's that good at racing. It is fast, but the racing just isn't there, you know. I tried it a couple of times with different tunes, but I just can't figure out how to use it properly. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad. So to be honest, I'm gonna have to put it on S1 tier. It's a bit disappointing considering it's a 6 million credit car. I would have expected it to be a little bit better at racing. Next up we got the Hot Wheels Camaro. This is honestly the drag car. I've never seen anything like this. You know how smooth the acceleration is, right? Like normally on other cars, they'll slowly accelerate, start out slow, and then they ramp up their speeds. But this one, it's just 100 miles an hour after like 2 seconds, it feels like. I think it was around 1 million credits it cost, so it's not too bad. So I would not recommend using this for anything else in drag racing, but I would put this at maybe like, I'm thinking S1. I know I just gave it to the last car too, but they're kind of similar, right? They only really have one purpose. Next up is the Hot Wheels Boneshaker, and I know it didn't come out with this update, it's been in the game for quite a while, but it still is a Hot Wheels car, so I'll put it in this video. And what I'll recommend is using an A-Class tune on this car, since it is where it performs the best. I think this is the best A-Class car in the game, so if you're planning to win some A-Class races, this is definitely the one you should go for. It is such a great car for speed and handling. I really don't think there's many other cars that could be better. It also, to be honest, it looks really cool too, with the skeleton head on the front. You know what, I think it's an X-Class car. I really do think it is an incredible car. So yeah, you should definitely go pick it up. Now this next car I'm quite excited for is the 2 Jets Hot Wheels car. I know it looks really crazy here on the back with all the wires and engines that is visible here in the back. And that's just one of the things that makes this car so cool. You know, it's a 9 out of 10 on looks. The only point it's missing is like on the front. I think it looks kind of silly. They fixed that up. They could definitely make this a 10 out of 10 in terms of looks. But, you know, racing's not all about looks. We gotta find out if this car's actually good too. So I tested it out in a few races. And it turns out it's great for street racing too. It's got great handling. And the speed isn't too bad either. But you can obviously modify this, so you can choose if you want more speed, less handling, or more handling, less speed. And honestly, I would put this in the S1 class, so it's alright for racing and stuff, but you should only spend money on it if you actually think it looks cool too. That's like what gives it the most points in my opinion. So if you share that opinion, then you should definitely go get it. It's a great car. And now we're at the car that is possibly the worst looking from this entire update. It's the Hot Wheels Rip Rod. In my opinion, this is such an ugly car, and it really isn't good either. It's slow, it's actually not that bad in terms of handling, but I think that's just because it's so slow. If you for some reason like how this car looks, good for you, I guess. I don't like it. I'm going to be putting this in C class just because I feel like that could be worse. At least it drives. Yeah, I'll give it a C. The next car is the Hot Wheels Diora II. It has a pretty decent speed. It's nothing crazy or like that, though the handling is not very good. I'm going to be honest and say I don't think this would be very practical in a race, but it is quite fun to use on the water slides in the Hot Wheels park. But it's got like surfboards on the back, which I quite like. I think it's pretty good, though I can't put it near some of the best cars. So with that in mind, I think I'm giving it an A. Yeah, an A class. Just right in the middle. I think it's a pretty decent car, but there's a lot of things to improve on it. The next car is the TwinMill, and I believe this is one of the oldest Hot Wheels car that's ever been made. But despite being old, it's a very good car. It's quite fast and the handling isn't bad either. You could definitely use this for street racing and other stuff, and in my opinion it does not look too bad either. I really like how parts of the engine is popping out at the front, so it's just an overall pretty good car. Good for racing, and it looks nice. Also, we can't forget about the sound. I think, in my opinion, it sounds really nice, but you'll have to judge for yourself, so I'll just play that real quick. you know, compared to some of the others, I just don't think it's much better. So I'll go ahead and give it an S1. It's not the best, but it is pretty good overall. Next up is the Hot Wheels Ford F5, and it is one of the best rally cars in the entire game. Now I know you might be thinking that I'm going a little bit slow in the footage here, but it's because I'm racing in the A class, so all the cars are a bit slow. But yeah, I did a few races using a rally setup, and I'm so impressed by how good this car really is. I'm definitely going to be using it as one of my main cars for rally racing in the future. Also, this thing just looks evil. I mean, come on, you cannot say that doesn't look cool. And the little skeleton head here on the back, I think that's a really nice detail. I might honestly have to put this in S2, because I think it's almost one of the best cars from this entire update. Yeah, I'll put it in S2. It is such a good car. I think everyone should go get it when you're rally racing. Next up is the Hot Wheels Ford Mustang. And out of all the Mustangs in the game, I think this might be the coolest looking. Personally, I really like using this car for drifting, but of course you could use it for regular racing too. The Ford Mustang is an amazing car, and it is so good at drifting. I think you could use it for off-roading too, but I haven't really found a good setup for that, so I'll just use it for drifting. I prefer that. It's not the best drift car that I've ever driven. I would say it's like the top 5 at least. And it is a pretty good drag car as well. Yup, the Ford Mustang is definitely an X tier car. It's so good all around, and I've just really been enjoying driving it. Next up is the Nash Metropolitan. This car is just straight up awful. I'm sorry, but I hate this car. There's not a single thing about this car that is good. I haven't found any type of races that it is actually good at and useful for. And it also just looks like a piece of trash. Please don't get this car. It is a waste of your money, and it just looks like it came straight from the junkyard. Now let's move on to something that's a bit more exciting. It's the Hot Wheels Bad to the Blade car. This is the car that's been in all of the advertisements for this update. And to be honest, it might just be one of the best cars from the update, so I can't understand that they would promote this. It's also one of the only cars that actually feels like you're driving a Hot Wheels car and not just a regular car that looks a bit weird. But yeah, the Bad to the Blade has insane acceleration, and in fact it's so good at turning corners that you almost gotta be careful not to turn too much. There's just nothing to hate about this car. It's obviously going to be an X tier car because it just is one of the best cars at the moment. I haven't really found anything bad about it yet. Definitely in the top 3 best cars right now in the entire game. Now last but not least, the Baja Boneshaker. This car isn't the greatest for off-roading. I've tried a couple different races with different tunes, but I just can't really get it to work, you know. I don't think this would be my #1 choice for an off-road race. Though I will say it looks really cool. But, you know, if you guys can make it work, I'll find a good tune. Please let me know in the comments though, because I would actually like to drive this during races. What shall we give this? I think I'll give this B tier. I would not recommend it if you just want a good off-road car. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.